Bumble is killing the swipe. The company just announced an AI dating assistant called Bee that matches people based on values, goals, and communication style instead of split-second photo judgments. If you build consumer apps, run a marketplace, or compete for Gen Z attention, this is a playbook worth studying closely. Here is what happened. During Bumble's fourth quarter earnings call on March 12, 2026, founder and CEO Whitney Wolfe Herd introduced Bee, a generative AI assistant that acts as a personal matchmaker inside the app. Users have a private onboarding conversation with Bee, either by typing or speaking. They share their values, relationship goals, lifestyle preferences, communication style, and dating intentions. Bee then processes all of that and identifies two people who align on those dimensions. Both users get a notification with a short explanation of why they are a good fit. No swiping. No endless scrolling. Think of it less like flipping through a stack of photos and more like having a thoughtful friend who actually listened to what you want and then introduced you to someone specific, with reasons. The feature launches first inside a new experience called Dates. It is currently in internal testing and heading to beta soon. Bumble is also experimenting with removing the swipe mechanic entirely in select markets and replacing it with chapter-based profiles where users highlight different parts of their life story like career, hobbies, values, and plans. Other users can express interest in specific chapters rather than just tapping a heart on a photo. That gives Bee richer data and gives users more meaningful ways to connect. Now here is why this matters beyond dating. The market responded immediately. Bumble's stock jumped roughly 40% after the announcement, on the back of strong Q4 revenue of $224.2 million, and average revenue per paying user rising nearly 8% to $22.20. Investors are clearly betting that AI-driven matchmaking can reverse the decline in user engagement that has plagued the entire dating app industry. So what actually changes, and why should you care even if you never open a dating app? First, this is a case study in replacing a binary interaction with an AI-curated one. Bumble's swipe was essentially a yes or no filter. Bee replaces that with a conversational intake, deeper profiling, and a curated recommendation with an explanation. If you run any kind of marketplace, hiring platform, or recommendation engine, watch this closely. The pattern of replacing passive browsing with AI-guided matching applies far beyond dating. Think talent platforms matching candidates to roles based on values and work style, or B2B marketplaces that stop showing catalogs and start making explained introductions. Second, Bumble is using AI to solve a retention problem. Younger users, particularly Gen Z, are burning out on swipe fatigue. Wolfe Herd explicitly said the goal is to get people offline and into real-world meetings faster, breaking what users call dead-end chat zones. If your product has an engagement wall where users stall out, an AI assistant that accelerates users toward the core value proposition is a model worth exploring. Third, future features include AI-suggested date ideas based on shared interests and anonymous opt-in feedback from prior matches. That last one is fascinating. Imagine applying that to professional contexts. Anonymous post-interview feedback powered by AI, or post-project reviews in freelance marketplaces. The data loop of learning from past interactions to improve future ones is the real engine here. Now what can go wrong? Privacy is the obvious risk. Bee learns deeply personal information through private conversations. Bumble says chats with Bee are private, and nothing is shared on a user's public profile. Users choose what topics can be shared with a potential match, but the company is building a massive data set of intimate preferences, attachment styles, and personal values. Any breach or misuse would be catastrophic for trust, and regulators are watching. Bumble already faced scrutiny in the EU over its AI icebreaker feature and OpenAI integration under GDPR. There is also the autonomy question. How much should an algorithm decide who you meet? If Bee's recommendations are too narrow, users miss serendipitous connections. If they are too broad, the feature loses its value proposition. Bumble says Bee will not write messages on behalf of users or generate conversations, which is a smart boundary. But as the assistant expands, that line could blur, and there is competitive pressure. Tinder is already testing its chemistry feature, which uses AI and camera roll access to build personality profiles. Grindr offers AI chat summaries. The entire industry is converging on the same idea. Bumble's advantage is its existing user base and years of behavioral data showing what makes a match succeed versus fizzle. Startups cannot replicate that overnight, but Match Group has deep pockets and multiple apps. This is going to be a fast-moving arms race. Here is what to do with this information in the next 30 days. 1. If you build any consumer product with a matching or recommendation layer, audit your current system. Are you still relying on binary signals like swipes, likes, or star ratings? Map out where a conversational AI intake could replace or supplement passive filtering. 2. Study the economics. Bumble says dates will be free initially, but could become a premium offering. If you are monetizing a platform, model what an AI-curated tier would look like. Users may pay more for fewer but higher quality matches, whether that is dates, job candidates, or product recommendations. 3. If you are in product or UX, prototype an explained recommendation. B does not just match. It tells both users why they are matched. That transparency builds trust and gives users a reason to act. Test whether adding a short AI-generated rationale to your existing recommendations improves conversion. 4. Review your data privacy. Posture. If you are collecting conversational data to train personalization models, make sure your consent flows are airtight, especially if you operate in the EU. Bumble's earlier GDPR issues with AI icebreakers are a cautionary tale. 5. Watch Bumble's beta results. When Dates rolls out publicly, track user sentiment, retention metrics, and whether the swipe removal experiments succeed or backfire. That data will tell you whether AI-curated matching is a real paradigm shift or a feature that sounds better in an earnings call than in practice. The core takeaway is this: Bumble is betting that AI can replace the most iconic interaction in consumer tech, the swipe, with something more intentional, more personal, and more likely to create real-world outcomes. Whether it works will shape how every marketplace and recommendation platform thinks about AI in the next 2 years. Subscribe to AI Blueprint so you catch the results when they land.